What's up, everybody? I'm A.K.A. the Wizard, and this is the Put Up. We're on season 2, episode 10 right now, and I got an amazing guest for you today. Actually, prepared ahead of time. It's been crazy to experience what's happening, And please go back and watch the other 9 episodes we've done previous to today, because there's some amazing tips and content in there from different artists and stuff, and it's just this wealth of information that always keeps happening. And I feel like today's going to be no exception. We have the amazing D.A. Westside with us today. How's it going, bro?
Yo, bro, what is up? You already know it's Derek, the Westside. Ask you, Hollow, my man, the Wizard, just chopping it up, trying to make some connections, put on a good show for everybody that's tapped in. Whoever is going to tap in, it's definitely going to be nothing short of amazing. Definitely already got the vibe with our energies. It's going to be lit,
Yeah.
so just stay tapped in. You know what I'm saying? Hell
Yeah, man. Yo, before we even get started, we were chatting on text actually about this thing about the hip hop, right? About not being on the top 100 on Billboard right now.
Yeah,
right?
no, nothing in the top 40 as of end of last month. Crazy, right?
Yeah, it's.
Shit.
What do you think about that? Why do you think that happens?
Well, all right. So I think I hope I don't give too loaded of an answer here. I I think what really I personally tell you the truth, I really love it. That it fell out of the top 40. You might be like, dude, you make hip hop. Why would you say that? I look at it like when I first discovered hip hop. I'm just off the cuff. I was born in 1993, so I'm 31, about to be 32. So I was, I started really getting hip hop during the Eminem, Jay-Z, Ludacris type era.
That's what I was too. Yeah.
Of course,
Definitely.
I loved the Big L's and the Mob Deeps and all those people as well, the Nas's. So that's where I started with it, and obviously it gained popularity over time. I felt like that era of hip hop was great. Even the '80s, all that stuff was great because it was people just painting pictures and landscapes with their words that you could see while you're listening. I was just like, yo, this shit is so fucking cool.
The
And
grassroots of it all, right?
yeah, it was so pure. And then, it grew, it became mainstream. And then, you had people like Lil Wayne who just took hip hop to a whole new nebula, right? Um,
Yeah.
and then I felt like hip hop went from a place where people would illustrate their struggles or their successes or whatever through spoken word, and then it turned into the popular thing to do. And I'm sure you've seen artists, where they go out, they make a couple songs, they pop off, and then they leave the genre, go start making shows or go start making country music or whatever, because they was like, it was like, to them it was like, oh, that's a platform I could use to leverage my brand
Kind
to
of
then
launch
go.
somewhere else or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of glad that is going away from being so popular, and hopefully that trend continues. In my opinion, because they're the people who really love it will, get back
They'll
to
have their time to
reclaiming.
shine. Yeah.
Yes, and they'll be able to reclaim what hip hop was really meant to be. Don't get me wrong. I loved how it peaked in 2020. That was great. It was a great time. I'm not discrediting any of those artists, but I would that got it to that point. But I can definitely tell you that you could just see, even the early 2010s, it was the there was still so much originality in the big names. There was
True.
you always had your underground people, but when you go back the early 2010s, there was so much good music, and it didn't matter if you could put on Wiz Khalifa, Meek Mills, Drake, you know, Wale, um, Lil Wayne, Tyler the Creator, Absol, Schoolboy Q. It didn't matter. They were all had their niche, and they were all good. They all sounded like human beings telling their stories. And then the production era came, and it was just so much production, and it was so much wow, your vocals are just ridiculous. And then then I think Future. Future is amazing, all time legend. Nothing against him, but he has more clones than anybody. I swear, I know 40 Future clones.
That's
I'm just
crazy.
I'm like, oh, I thought that was no, that was some. So it's like people started to like chase sounds instead of being themselves because they saw these artists that really made a whole bunch of club bangers, and everybody just started making a lot of club bangers, and that was cool. There's nothing wrong with making bops. There's nothing wrong with being melodic. That's great. It helped get hip hop to be the most dominant to be the most dominant music art form for a time. So nothing wrong with that, but I definitely think people saying like, "Oh, I just listen to music for a vibe," which is cool, but it's kind of like that kind of washed away what the roots of the craft was. You know,
Right.
if I can just sit here and just say words that just sound cool, that I really may not feel, but I know it's gonna vibe well on the beat. Hey, why not go for it and make it happen? And then the people like the real artists, the people who are really sharpening their pen every time, the ones that are trying to expand, whether it's expanding their vocal engineering or expanding, the subject material, or maybe go deeper introspectively and go further in depth with how they feel about stuff. That kind of felt like nobody wanted to hear that. It's just kind of like I'm sure you hear it. They're like, oh, nobody want to listen to Kendrick. Nobody want to listen to that conscious shit. And I'm like, how? I don't know how you could have somebody of that caliber and just be like, no, I'm not trying to hear that. It's just like,
Yeah, man. It's a wild
like,
thing, right?
yeah. So for me, I think the decline in hip hop kind of like, all right, it became popular, and I feel like it's kind of a multifaceted thing. So I think the first thing that really changed the game, the landscape, was mixtapes. And at first, it was great. It was amazing. It was fire. Then you had your SoundCloud rap era. All that stuff was dope. Um, but I think because the barrier of entry dropped, more people got in.
That's
And
what I
with
was gonna say. Is like
and with
the accessibility to all the equipment and like 300,000 songs coming out every day, kind of thing, right? It's
yeah,
changed things now, right?
yeah. So that's part of it. So I feel like when the barrier of entry got lower, then the price of the art got lower, which is fine. But then, unfortunately, the quality came down, and I think that happened because you have artists. I like to call it artist integrity. Like I will record 50 songs, but I'm only going to release like 5 or 6 because I'm like, hey, these are the ones I really vibed with. Those were easy to make. They were smooth. I didn't feel like I had to force anything. All the flows fit in the pocket perfectly. I didn't have to sit there and make 40 drafts of the engineering because I'm singing out of my range or rapping out of my range. Everything was smooth. It was cool. Let's go that route. Um, but some artists don't have integrity. They're just like, yo, put everything out. Well, that's cool. But now when the artist integrity drops, then you have like fans, which I feel like as fans, our job is to keep the artist integrities high, you know, because if
Right.
I can sit here and drop subpar music and get 40,000 shares or 100 streams, a million streams, whatever, like then it's like why why sit here and bust my ass making great content, great music, when I could just go out here, I'm some big artist, slap my name on its track, throw out a 16, a catchy hook, and get the fuck out of there. And then it's like, all right, so stuff got cheaper. So with stuff getting cheaper, now it's like, I don't even got to be that good because the listener doesn't pay that much to access my music anymore. So who cares if I drop a track or an album and it doesn't have any replay value? It does 100,000 streams the first 2 days, and then everyone forgets about it. Won't matter because somebody else is going to drop some other subpar project, and it's just going to be a rinse and repeat. So I think because all the barriers dropped, the price to consume the art dropped. So then artist integrity dropped, and then in return, listeners' integrity dropped because
Mm,
because
it's
you're
true,
from
man.
that because you're from that era. You said you're from the same similar era as me. Like I remember being a kid and being like, "Mom, please let me get this Get Rich or Die Trying album."
And you
And
remember putting it on like multiple times? Like you just had to
yeah,
listen to the same shit over and over again, right?
yeah. So like those songs had to be good, bro. Like there was no way you were gonna go to FYE or Blockbuster or wherever you got your music from, drop $20 on an album, and then you're like, hey, there's 16 tracks, but I only like one song. You're like, no, you're not doing that. Like, you were like, hey, you have 10 tracks, at least 7 of these have to be high quality.
Fire, bomb,
Like,
bangers, bro.
you had to, like, the artist had to, because first off, that distribution was so much money back then. You had all those physical CDs, all the wrapping and packaging, like that really, costed money. So it was like, hey, we're not
You're
gonna
not
put
gonna
up,
do that with a piece of shit album or something. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You have to invest that kind of like coin into it.
yeah. So I think that dropping kind of just made it feel like, all right, well, I don't have to be that good because the listener doesn't have to go out of their way. I can remember going to the store and be like, I had to stand in line 25 minutes.
Eating
And then
popcorn, waiting. You know.
yeah, then after I waited 25 minutes, then I had to convince my mom to buy me the song with the parental advisory because I was not trying to buy the clean version. Even as a kid, I was like, nah, I want to hear the whole full, the whole shit, you know. And it's like it just seemed like everything about the old school hip hop was like it was genuine and they really loved doing it. Like the skits in the albums were funny as fuck or super introspective. Every song was good and everybody sounded different. Like you may have
Everybody
had
had their sound. Yeah, there was
yeah,
very
like
distinct differences between each artist back then, right?
yeah, like I was listening to like Mob Deep yesterday and I was like, wow, I'm over here stressing out about making sure my vocals were super polished. And Mob Deep, they were just throwing on a little bit of compression, some EQ, spitting
Very
fire.
simple, man. Yo,
It
it's
was just
amazing to see some of the stuff that comes in. I'm impressed. You know what I mean? How simple that stuff is on a lot of these vocals that I get.
yeah, and it's like, fuck, why am I over here trying to compete with somebody who has 20 engineers? I'm in the room by myself, like, damn, no, I gotta fix this, I gotta fix that, you know. But with the SoundCloud era and stuff like that, I think that more things were opened. So I think, which was great, but I think that also kind of created more subgenres that created more niches to be filled. Because I've never like I would say around 2010 is when I started to really hear like I was like, wow, there are so many artists. There's so many rappers out here, like so many, but they were able to get that shine because they didn't need to have a huge record label behind them. They didn't have to have $100,000 or $100 million machine pushing their records. It was like, hey, I'm gonna go to SoundCloud, upload it, and SoundCloud at the time you would just press play and it would just run through random ass songs. You'd be like, oh, who's that? Go back to that one, and it was like, okay, that was cool. And if the production was a little gritty, a little distorted or whatever, it was cool because that was novelty at that time. I was like, oh, I never really heard somebody, drop a raw vocal like that and just fucking run with it, and people are loving it. And I think more niches were created, so now the market domination of the top tier artists is just not the same. Because you don't have to be a top tier artist to have fans anymore. You could have fans just recording in your room and releasing shit, which is beautiful. So I think the domination fall off of hip hop just kind of came down to I guess the artist integrity, listener integrity, the barriers of entry getting lower, so then the quality doesn't have to be as high, and that's why you could see things like people would be canceling shows because nobody wanted to buy them because why would I want to sit there like and I'm gonna go to a show and you're not even rapping. I went to a rap concert. You just got your vocal track. You got the whole song playing in the background, and you're on the stage just jumping around. Like, yeah, that's cool. I like the energy, bro. But like, I paid $100 for this. You know, so yo, can you hear me? Yo. Okay, okay. So like, yeah, that's I think that's where the whole um, the things just changed. I think people just started getting paid for subpar work, and subpar work can only take you so far, and you just kind of get to the point where shit. What are you supposed to do? You know, if I could keep getting paid doing subpar work, eventually your fans or the fans of the genre are going to catch on. And if they feel like they're being alienated, they're just going to move on, go to different genres. There's people all over the world making high quality music, and if you think that you could just hold that domination just because you're you, hey, the market has a whole different answer for you, buddy, and you ain't gonna like it. So that's I could go on for that. I can go on way longer about that, but yeah. But yeah, I would love to get your take on that as well, if you don't mind sharing how you feel about it. Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. So for me, how that came to be, so it's kind of funny, I guess. So I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have the same story. I would imagine, maybe not. Uh, like I said before, always loved, always loved rap. I always saw it as a expression to your soul. Helped me tap into my subliminal thoughts. The way I would deliver or freestyle when I rap. That kind of let me know, like, I'm talking real aggressive. Maybe maybe I have some type of something in my life that I'm not addressing. It's making me really angry right now. Let me do inventory on my life, see who I have in my circle, in my corner, see what I can do to change that. I just love the process of trying to write down words and tie words together, schemes like that. Um, so I was always writing and freestyling for years, even back in high school in like 2009, 2010. Uh, but I never really did anything with it because it was kind of just like, I don't really think I'm that good, anything like that. Then 2020 happened. I'm sure everybody remembers that. And yeah, I was sitting at the house. I was like, I just started recording music because I I lived in a little ass like farm area at that time. I didn't really have any having my friends around. Not much going on. Everybody was sitting in their cribs, so I was doing the same shit. Decided to just start. I had already had a microphone and shit. I was recording a couple songs. I was like, bro, why don't you just record music all day? You're not going to work. You can't sell. I was at the time I was doing real estate, but courts were shut down, so I couldn't sell any houses even. So I was just like, hey, might as well just record. You're just sitting here, and that's what I was doing. Probably recording 2 to 3 songs a day, just putting out content on Audio Mac and shit like that. And that kind of just after doing that for about a year, 2021, I was like, wow, I actually started to develop a sound. I actually started to learn how to write a song, stay on a beat for an extended amount of time on one topic, and really start expanding on actually becoming an artist. So 2022 came around. Uh, my business, that's when my business that I was working on kind of started to like fall apart a little bit, and I was also focusing on music a lot because that's when I started to really develop my sound completely, start really being myself in all my tracks. I didn't really I would listen to my songs and I didn't really hear my idols anymore. I kind of was like, wow, that sounds like you made that song. So at the end of 2022, finally I got connected with one of the producers in my area, and decided to make a full project. And yeah, so I would say I officially got started in 2022 is when I actually started actually putting out projects on DSPs and stuff like that. So for me, I think I'm definitely like a mix of like a lyrical and melodic type artist. I wouldn't say like I'm super lyrical. I wouldn't say I'm super melodic. I try to incorporate all those types of things into the songs. Trying to use a very animated for sure. I like to come in. Sometimes I'll be parts really low. Sometimes other parts are really high. Just having that vocal range and expanding on it. Even though I'm not really that great of a singer, shit, I'll still do it. Because that's the only way you really get better. So I would say that I would say if I had to say, so I would say I have like a 360 style when it comes to like my subject material. I like to really just tap into my emotions, my life experiences, any social events that I think that have impacted my life or impacted my circle of friends and everything like that. You know, so that's how I would describe my sound. And then for what I would say makes me stand out, I have like tags. Not I guess you call them tags. So like the beginning of every song, I like to say "Scissor," Westside, boys saying shit. We got another one. In some fashion, I say that before every song. So it's kind of like how you have Lil Wayne's lighter flick, and it's like okay, you hear that flick, you know that Lil Wayne's about to come on. That for me is like oh, the West Side's about to start, going in. So that's why I would say helps me stand out. Um, and finally, last thing that helps me stand out, I would say, is I don't try to be anybody else. People who are trending is great. I'm glad that they are finding their niche and everything like that. But I'm just gonna be myself. I know some artists fall into depressions and stuff like that because they're chasing what they believe is a hit. They're chasing what they believe is the right sound because somebody else is doing it. They're tracing virality, and then if it when it doesn't happen, then it's like fuck. Or it does happen, right? And then they're like, well, shit. Now it's got to keep chasing trends. Kind of really, derails their career emotionally and mentally because they know that they weren't being them authentic, true selves. So for me, just being who I am. Uh, yeah, bro, I can hear you. Yeah, bro, it's all good. I was like, at first, I was like, shit, I must be ass. He must not like what I'm saying, bro. That's what I was thinking. I'm like,
No, no,
damn,
no.
I
Yo, the
mean,
whole
it
thing just
happened.
blew up. Yeah, I can't even believe it, bro. I was like, what just happened right there? I had to restart everything, the interface, everything to get it working again. That was wild.
Hey, bro, fuck it. Hey, I mean, shit. That's what's great about live streams, right? Everything happens on the fly. You gotta make them adjustments. So, hey, fuck it. We back.
I was listening to you actually on the stream when you were saying all this, so I get. Oh man, yeah, like yo, thanks for sharing that while I was gone.
Oh shit.
Oh my gosh. So like yeah, what inspires you to make all these things then?
So when it comes to my creative process and everything like that, I try to keep it pretty simple, bro. Like I'm a regular ass dude. Like I'm not some, like I drive a Nissan Altima. I go to work every day. Like I'm a regular ass dude. Like I don't even want to be revered as put on a pedestal because at the end of the day, we all shit. We all put our boxes on one leg at a time. Like so, just treat me like a regular dude. So I just live my life. When I'm driving on the street, I might be like, damn, these two crackheads are fighting. I hate that my country is dealing with this shit. I'm about to go home and write about the state of America. This is supposed to be God's country, but we got this shit everywhere. What the fuck are we doing? That might make
True.
me be like, that might make me angry. I might go in there and just say, you know what, like, fuck the government, dog. Like, whatever. So, I really just get it from, my life experiences. I might be at work and I'm talking to one of my coworkers and they're like, yo, I got baby mama drama and shit like that. And you hear them, I'm like, bro, you always the victim of your shit, bro. Like, get your shit together. Then I go home and I'm like, damn, babe, I work with this dude, and he a sorry motherfucker. Like, he always sad, and like he blame everybody. So then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make a song inspired by him. I'm gonna go in there and talk about how life is in your hands, and you can go make shit happen. So
Damn,
there's
and that'll
that.
inspire a song, eh? After that,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Just life experiences. I think that's the easiest way to do it. I mean, could I go out there and fabricate a song about strippers clapping their booty on me while I'm throwing thousands of dollars? Yeah, I do have a little bit of talent. I could go out and make a song like that. It's not hard to really embellish and make up some bullshit, but that's not the life I live, and I'm not gonna like it. I'm gonna be in the process like, what the fuck? I'm gonna be engineering it, and my wife's gonna be like, "You don't do this shit." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm tweaking." So I got when I first started, I just rapped about I just rapped what I heard on the radio or whatever, just to kind of see if I was even any good, and then after that, just comes my own sound using my own life experiences, social events, shit like that, and
Yeah.
then just having like an idea pyramid. I don't know if I'm sure you've heard of that.
An
before. Maybe not.
idea pyramid. Tell the people, bro. What is an
So
idea pyramid?
it's I start at the top. So let's just say I'm just like, all right, I want to talk about money. Like the subject will start with just money at the top, and I'm like, okay, so I want to make a song talk about money. Then I might sit there and say, okay, I could talk about investing my money and like how investing your money could help you, reach, financial success, leveraging companies. Or I might say, all right, I can talk about investing. Then investing will turn in. So I have investing, so money investing. Then I might have like, oh, how did it feel to have a six-figure business 2 years after it started? So I might be like, okay, I have investing, I have balling out crazy. Then I might go to balling out crazy. I'll be like, bro, do you remember when you had 12 people on your team? You had 12 jobs created. Like, that was crazy. Maybe we want to talk about that. Or I might be like, yo, you might want to talk about like all the pitfalls that could come from having a lot of money come to you at a fast pace, because there's a lot of things in my life that were not on par, but you didn't really pay attention to them shits because I was like, bro, money's falling out the sky right now. Who cares about whatever relationship problems I might have with my wife? Who cares about any spiritual demons I'm not addressing? Like, bro, I just closed a deal. We made $7,000 yesterday, bro. Who gives a shit? And
Dang,
then
baby.
so it's like that kind of shit. So then I might be like, okay, I got those two. Then I might say, go back to investing. And I might be like, all right, what does it feel like when your portfolio? So now I'm under investing, money investing. What is it like when your portfolio goes up 20% in a day? That's fucking fire. I love that. But then it's like, what does it feel like when you're investing and you fuck your bag up and now you're like, damn, I I picked some bad ETFs. I am fucked up right now. So it's like, all right, I get feelings from that. And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to talk about money, investing, what it feels like to pick stocks that have parabolic growth, and you buy them before you get there. They return 600%. You feeling like a whole bag of money yourself. So let's go talk about money. Let's go fill ourselves. We're going to swag this shit the fuck out, and we're going to love it. So that's what I would call an idea pyramid. You start with something at the
Yeah,
top.
like literally the
And
structure of building that idea out once you have it, kind of thing, right?
yeah. So that's you know another just quick breakdown. I might say, okay, I might look at my relationships. Then I got my wife. Then I'm like, okay, with my wife, I have memorable moments. Maybe we had arguments that were heated as fuck, and we both remembered, and we both said some crazy shit to each other. And it was like, wow, we really said that shit. I would really write that down, get a song from it. Maybe we might talk about a struggle that we have faced together. Maybe we might talk about successes that we've, came with. Maybe how we met, the feelings towards each other, and then those, just trickle down, and then you're like, okay, yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about. And I also like that because it helps me, create projects. Because um, when I dropped like my first two projects, they were just songs connected together. And then after I started to try to theme my projects, where it's like
Mm.
we're talking like, because that's what made like albums really pop off. You're like, wow, like they talked about something. There was the album itself had an idea, and then that idea was played out through the album. You know,
Nice.
and,
Yeah, and
and
it's
I
like an entire story from like track 1 to like whatever 15, whatever it is, right?
yeah. So then it's like, don't get me wrong, I love the albums full of bangers. Those have their place. The albums where people are just barring you to death. You're like, damn, every song was just haymakers left and right. But the tracks were like the albums where you're like, wow, like he was talking about depression, and it was like he or she talked about their drug abuse, and they talked about how they lost all their friends, how they blew all their money, and each one of these topics are songs, and you get to the end and you're like, damn, bro, like that person had a really crazy story to tell. They had a really shitty, you know, stretch in life, and it makes you start to reflect, like, what could I have done better? Shit like that.
Yeah, like that
So
stuff that you can really connect with as a human listening to it, right? As like the listener.
yeah. So I think those idea pyramids help. that happen where you can put a string of songs together that might talk about different things, but they can all tie into each other. So at the end, you're just like, okay, I get it now. You know, and some artists are really good at that. Other ones, they just stick to bar you to death, whatever. But that's when I come up with like the themed EPs I have. That's usually what I try to do. Um, is use my idea pyramid and then kind of, go from there. Um, so other
That's
part of my,
amazing.
yeah, I mean it's pretty basic, but I'm glad you think it's amazing, bro. That's lit. Shit. And then other part of the creative process, um, I've tried to make songs all kinds of ways, starting with the idea pyramid. Then sometimes I'll write a whole song. I'll just be and no beat, just like I might be sitting in the parking lot at a grocery store. I might be like, you know what, I got my groceries, but right now I just don't feel like driving. These 10, 12 bars just hit me. I'm gonna try to write them down real quick, but I have no beat. Then
Mm,
I
yeah.
might go there and I'm like, and now I'm trying to find an instrumental to fit these bars and fit these ideas, and I'm like, fuck, bro, this shit is not working at all, cause this is stupid. So I have made good songs like that, or songs that I've been proud of, but I've found it's way easier to let the instrumental be the canvas, bro. Like just put the beat on. What emotions do you feel when this instrumental comes on?
Let it
You
speak
know,
to you in a way, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, like is there something about the hi hats? Is there something about the 808s? Is it, what is it something about the violence? Whatever is in the beat, what you know, because at that point, then I can be like, okay, that whatever it is, I might be like, hey, I'm gonna let the hi hats determine my cadence throughout the song, you
mm,
know. And I might say, all right, these drums are fucking crazy. So when the drums really are saturated and you're fucking bumping, that's where I'm gonna put the hook. Hey, that little fancy shit that the producer did with this violin, that's where we'll put a bridge right there because that shit was lit, and everything like that. So yeah, that's kind of how I found it way easier to let the instrumental be the canvas, and you kind of keep that as your parameters, and you kind of go from there. Um, Another thing I do is I listen to old songs that I created. Um, I listen to other songs from other artists, of course, too. But listening to old songs, because I might say, "Yo, bro, that 4 bar stretch was crazy. I liked that flow and that delivery, but it didn't really fit the song to go 16 bars deep with that. But maybe on this, you can go 16 bars deep with a similar flow, maybe a different cadence, and let's see how that works.
it's like
Um,
self-reflection of your own music in a way, evaluating it after you've made it, right? Like,
yeah, yeah, because yeah, like I mean, I do that with other artists too, but definitely like you might sit there. I'm sure I'm imagining all creators do this. You might be like, damn, yo, like that shit was really smacking, but why didn't I do more of that? Or like, why didn't I expound on that idea? Shit. Well, fuck it. I got this new track. I got this new beat. Whatever. Let's do it now.
each one's a
And
new chance, right? Like, there you go.
yeah, yeah. So that's like other part of the creative process. And like I said already before, just conversations and interactions I have in life. I like to I tend to be more introverted. Like I really don't like it's not that I don't like to talk. I love talking when the what's I looking for when the time comes for it. But I love listening, bro, because like that's how you learn. Like I'm just like I'll just like I'll be at break at work and my friends, not my friends, my coworkers just throwing out shit, and I'm like, what are they talking about? I'm like, I've never heard of that. And
Like,
while
tell
they're
me
having
more.
yeah, and if they're in a super deep conversation, and I'm like, okay, I might ask a question, kind of get a little bit more. But sometimes I'll just be like, you just say, go to Chat GPT real quick. I'm like, what are they talking about?
What the hell is this they're saying? Like,
And I'm like, oh, okay, all right. And then I start to look up more of that shit, and I'm like, oh, damn, that's some interesting shit. And then you geek out on that shit for a few days, talking about like whatever they were talking about, and I'm like, all right, boom, you know, that's another song, that's another idea that can spark some other ideas that can come out to be a track or a project, however that comes out. So pretty much how my creative process in terms of like how the ideas for the projects and songs come out to be.
Yo, that was a huge wealth of information for like artists, especially watching this podcast, because like I know there's many different ways of making songs, right? But I've never heard that pyramid thing before. Like the generation of ideas off of ideas, things like that, and just like drawing it out almost on a paper or something, right? As like almost like a brainstorming activity, but you already have the idea in mind of what you want to do, right?
Yeah,
That's crazy, bro. Amazing. I think it'll help somebody. I really do.
shit. That's what we're here for, is to make the next person better. You know,
Yeah, hell
that's
yeah.
that's like I don't get. That's what I think the higher power put us out here for. Is like, hey, wherever I'm at, I have a son now. I want where I got at 31 years of life. I want my son to turn 18 and be like, yo, I'm smoking my dad at 18. I'm my
Boom,
dad.
baby.
My dad at 31 is me at 16. I'll be like, hell yeah, that's good shit.
Well, yo, let's show him a track. I want to show him one of your tracks now, bro.
Yeah, go ahead. I fucking
It's
love
called
it.
the first one I got queued up today is called Like That. Tell the people what Like That's about.
Oh fuck, bro. Like that, I was really in my bag at that point in my life. That was actually when my business was falling apart, bro. And I was like thinking about like I was like, bro, what was I doing? Like we were making money, and I thought it was me because I wanted to make money so passively so I could start focusing on music full time. So like I felt like I built my team out. I outsourced a lot of things, was recruiting, building training processes, and I'm thinking like, yo, this shit is gonna pop off. We're making money. I'm just getting better at this shit. And then like we just started fucking up. We just started making bad decisions, and I'm like, bro, is this my fault? Because like my business partners, they were about the business, and my business partner, he was thoroughly about the business. He actually was the person who hit me up about the business, and I was like, yeah, bro, fuck it, yeah, you know, you the homie, you want to go try this out? I'm all down for it. And then it actually started to pop off. But then I looked at business as a way to buy more time so I can be more into music. He was like, yo, I love sales and marketing and business. He loved doing what we were doing already. I looked at it more like, hey, I like this because of what it could get me. And then my other business partner, she was just like, she was all about it. Like, you know, she wanted to try something because she came from a family. It's my wife, actually. Her family was real conservative. Like, hey, you don't go out there, take too many risks and shit like that. And then she's over here, you know, building a 6-figure business with us. And it's like, holy shit, like, I was trained to be an employee, shit's going on. And I'm like, yeah, this is all cool and all, but I just had this crazy at 16, and I got to write this shit down right now. So as cool as this business meeting is, this shit got to get done so I can go to that. So I felt like, I was like, fuck, I'm fucking this shit up. So when it started to fall apart, I'm thinking, damn, bro, I just spent a 6-hour session in the studio, and then I leave the studio, take my phone off, do not disturb, and read the messages. I'm like, damn, some shit in the business was fucking up. Maybe that was my fault. Maybe if I wasn't focused on this other shit, maybe this shit I already made a commitment with these people may have worked out. So that's what inspired it, and then that just kind of, instead of focusing on that, I kind of just went through my life and was like, bro, where are all the times you thought you were about to score the touchdown, and then you were at the goal line, and then you just fumbled the fucking ball. You pulled the Deshaun Jackson, bro. You was right there, and then you're just like, nope, no, I don't want to score. And it's like, you fucking idiot. So that's really what like that really came from, and it was kind of just like me thinking about all the demons in my head, just saying like, bro, like you're never gonna make it, bro. You're gonna continuously have the bag and fumble it. That's kind of how.
Damn.
That's kind of how that song came to be.
Okay, well, we're gonna roll it. Let's hear it.
Hell yeah.
I wonder why I cannot sleep? Is it my shaky self-esteem? I need my dreams to trampoline. I think I'm nice, but off the beats I do need work that even God would need his biggest hands. Feel like I'm slowly falling while I'm running in the quickest sand. I'm always swimming in my sorrows and there's sharks in the pool. And I know regrets will come tomorrow, cause they always come through. It will be about another topic, how you always a fool. You stupid for botching school projects, boy, you always a fool. No, I'm not, nigga. Demons get the Glock, nigga. Pull up on your block, nigga. Empty out the drum. Bullets big like Brock, nigga. Empty out the stock, nigga. Everyone a drop, nigga. Halos for you bum, but they running like, oh, we rolling up. Take your hands and throw them up. Boy, you know it's us. We already know enough. Started growing up. Pain just started going up. You drowning, bringing more to pull it up. Every day you lose, you're a dumb fuck. Seems like everything you do is a fuck up. You're a piece of number 2 for your dumb stuff. Seems like every single move is a dumb one. And they know I got demons and they mobbing like that. And it turned me into a monster, now I'm goblin like that. They know, now they wallin' and I'm wallin' right back. It be me and higher power, heavy chopping like that. Lay low, when we coming, there's no time to fight back. This is decades full of anger, causing problems like that. They don't want this drama, but they got me like that. So I'm facing all this trauma, giving copies like that. They know torment in my soul, it's starting to take a toll. It's breaking down all my bones and then some. I be trying to tell myself I'm strong, like all the weed in my bone. My demons just come along and then what? Ever confidence that I had, it's really making me mad. I'm gonna get them all back until front is all that they have. My emotions are in the mag. I'ma repeat the squeeze and blast until all the straps melt in half from the rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. One click, boom, explode your face. Cock back, reload the name. Pop caps, I relocate your shoulder blade. When the stick, boom, I rode away. Top hats from all these stray bobcats. I wonder where the demon fade. We demon smoking, put them in the red dot, beam is going. Blocker, 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 blowing. Skate up with the stick like P.K. Sobin, like P.K. Sobin. And they know I got demons and they mobbing like that. And it turned me into monster, now I'm goblin like that. They know, now they wallin' and I'm wallin' right back. It be me and higher power, heavy chopping like that. Lay low, when we coming, there's no time to fight back. This is decades full of anger, causing problems like that. They don't want this drama, but they got me like that. So I'm facing all this trauma, giving copies like that. They know. Scissor, 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 scissor.
Yo, what up? It's A.K.A. the Wizard. We had a little mishap, but we made it happen anyways.
Hey.
The song that you just heard right there was called Like That from D.A. Westside. And you can find all of his links below here underneath the stream today. And like, share, and subscribe before we get back into it if you haven't already. Because my man here, he does amazing music. Like some of that shit that I just heard, oh my gosh, bro. That's amazing.
Fuck yeah.
Nice work.
Hell yeah, bro. Like I said, that was when I was really in my bag at that time, because like that was when I was recording like songs per day, like what do you call it? Like it took me a few years to get that, but that song that you just heard, it probably took me an hour to make that shit, bro.
Nice.
Like,
just kind of came out of you, eh? That's amazing.
Yeah, because that's when I was recording 2 or 3 songs daily. Just going on YouTube, ripping beats off YouTube. I wasn't like making money. I wasn't putting them on DSPs and shit. I was just, hey, you shutting down all the stores, all the restaurants, all the clubs. What am I gonna do? And I didn't at that time. I didn't live in like now I live in the metropolitan. I live in Arizona now, so it's like there's people all around. There's shit to do. When 2020 was going around, like it was happening.
Oh yeah.
I lived in like a farm area. Like there was nothing around. So it was just kind of like, well, shit, bro, what are we gonna do? You know, I moved from a different part of the state, so I didn't really have too many friends. I knew a couple people, but it was pretty much just me and my wife at that time. So it was just like, yeah, she was in the medical field, so she was at work the whole fucking time, and
Right. Yeah,
I'm
central worker type stuff, right?
I'm just at the crib like, well, shit, it's me and her two cats. so so I'm like, so they over there doing cat shit, and I'm over here like, well, what am I gonna do? I was smoking weed, and I was like, bro, you might as well just start recording. Fuck it. And yeah,
Yeah, I
so
think so
I just
too.
yeah, so I just started recording, and yeah, by 2022, it was just like through the practice, it was just kind of like, hey, we were. I was so conditioned at that point. I still like I said, I still rap, I still freestyle every day, but like back then, I was like every day studio session for hours. It was at my house. It wasn't really a studio. It was just a mic and the isolation shield with an interface, but all day, like it was
Nice.
amazing.
Okay, so what has been your biggest struggle since you started making music? Like, what would you say is like that one thing that's been like the mountain you had to climb?
I'm still. I mean, I'm getting better because it really just takes repetition. But I would say the biggest challenge is trying to have confidence in
Mm.
how I've grown as an artist. Uh, because and the reason I'm saying that is when I first started rapping, I didn't know shit about DAWs. I didn't. I use Logic Pro, but I didn't know shit, bro. I would record some shit. Like when I say I didn't know shit, I didn't know that you could put vocal tracks on the same layer. Like every vocal track when I
Oh
first
yeah.
started was on a different layer. So if I had 10 takes in the song, I had 10 layers and no need for that. Now I was like, and one day I accidentally dragged one up and I was like, what? I could put two on the same layer? Like, holy shit. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know anything about the technical side of music. So since I didn't know shit, like I was just slapping plugins, putting two or three reverbs on the stupid, just like dumb shit.
I'm
Didn't
all
know anything. like like not knowing shit. So what I did since I was so terrible at the production and the engineering side of vocals, I was just going crazy. I was just snapping, like just so to a point where I was like, hey, these bars are gonna be so good that you're gonna be willing to listen through this shitty ass mix because it was terrible. But the bars were like, damn, he's really spitting out here. So I'll deal with it, you know. So then
It's a learning process, right? Like,
yeah, definitely, definitely. So then that, as I like started to like watch YouTube tutorials and shit like that, and I was like, oh, so that's what the EQ is, or that's what a compressor is, that's what ratio and all that shit means. So then like that album, like that's that song here, that was an album that the producer made the beat and he did the engineering for it.
okay.
So I mean, he was. I think when me and him worked on that project, he said he was like 15, 16 years in. So and he had a crazy setup. His mic that he used to record that song, that the microphone alone was more than all my music equipment minus my laptop. Like, and I mean, I'm definitely that's the goal. So once I get all my shit together with my son and everything, that's the next thing on my list is to start getting like better equipment. Because right now all of my shit is like hobby level shit. Like I have an
Okay.
SEX 1A like microphone. Like it's decent, it gets the job done. I had an interface, but I moved too many times and fucking broke the glass tube in it. So now
Oh
I'm
damn.
not the interface, the preamp. I fucked my preamp. So now I just have the interface. So it's interface, microphone going straight into the laptop. So um, I'm just it's forcing me to get really good at cleaning up my vocals through just using the plugins. But like for his shit, like we multiple preamps shit. So like, it was just a much cleaner signal. By the time the recording came through, it was just a lot cleaner than anything that my personal equipment could make. Even still this day, that's still probably the nicest polished sounding music is probably still that album. So my biggest, hurdle is um, trying to like get my engineering, my mixing better, and just being like, bro, like, nah, that's not. There's still a little too much sibilance and shit like that. And I don't know why I'm tripping about it because I'll play like my rough drafts of songs to my friends and shit on my way, and they're like,
And
"Yo,
they're
bro,
like,
that
this is
shit's not."
bumping, bro.
And I'm like, and I'm sitting here like, I'm like, yo, you don't. I'm like, bro, you don't hear that harsh ass fucking ring right there? And
A
they're
lot of
like,
people
nah, bro.
won't. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, so like for me, it's like I hear it because like I'm trying to get all these details out, but then other people are like, bro, why are you not releasing this? And I'm like, nah, man, it's like it's not bright enough. Like you, and they're like, what does that even mean? I'm like, I know you don't get it, but I promise you. I'm like, okay. I was like, here. I was like, play this song and then play a song by Travis Scott. I'm like, you see how everything Travis Scott says is clear as shit? And did you hear my shit? They're like, bro, I heard every single word you heard that you said. I was like, yeah, but it's not like that. Like, so it's like having that confidence and just being like, hey, bro, you got better. Just fucking release it, bro. So
and you don't have to like hit some special unknown target with that before you're allowed to release the song. You know what I mean?
yeah. So that's been my biggest probably because like before I was recording, trying to get things decent. I'm like, okay, words are legible. My words aren't drowning in the delay and the reverb. The saturation sounds good. Release it. Then I was like, all right, bro. Like I'm trying to have my shit sound professional, and that's where I'm at right now. And I know it's getting ridiculous because I have like 12 songs that I played, and people are like they sound pretty good, and the archive is just growing, bro. I'm just like, there's so many songs I should just just pull the trigger on. And
Drop it,
like,
bro.
yeah, and that's where I'm just at. I'm just like, bro, like now go like, and then like I'm doing like the whole shit. Like I'm like, okay, play it off the phone. All right, play it on my headphones, Bluetooth speaker. Go in my wife's car, play it in her car, drive around in my car. Then I'm just like, I guess what you know how like right now I'm at the point where it sounds good, but it doesn't sound uniform across every speaker I play it on. So I'm just like
mastering, my friend. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah. So that's
That's why I have all this stuff set up around me. Like a lot of the thing you see behind me, for example. Like all the stuff that we do is calibrated so that we can make it sound the same in a car as it does on an earbud, as it does on a Bluetooth speaker, on a phone, whatever, right?
Yeah.
You get like that standard level of all the different frequencies in the room so that you can make it sound the same for everything, right? That's part of it.
Yeah. So that's I would say is my biggest challenge now because before when I didn't know shit, I was just like, fuck it, who cares?
It was almost easier back then, right? Like
yeah.
The more you know, the more you gotta know, you know?
Yeah, then it's like you start to do shit. I'm like, damn, yo, I'm like, nah, I think this is too much imaging. I think it's going it's too far. Okay, 150%, not good. Drop it down to like 110, and then I'm like, but see now I'm just missing shit. All right, go to 125, and you're like, nope, I just heard a clip. Go back, level this part, and it's just like, and it's crazy because no one like when I play, nobody says that shit. I'm like, you didn't hear that plosive? You didn't hear that. They're like, what's a plosive? I'm like, all right, fuck.
Gotta go look it up on chat,
Yeah, I'm like, so like, yeah, that's what I would say is my biggest hurdle as of right now.
Well, yo, just before we get to the worst thing that's ever happened to you, we're just gonna shout out some people that are here with us today watching. We got all kinds of friends in the comments here that I see. We got DJ Melodic, a guy from New Jersey I work with. We got my brother here, Dano. What's up, bro? We also got Gregory Resputin. Samuel Wallace is here.
Holla, bro.
Yeah, man. Thanks to everybody for coming today and seeing Derek say all this stuff because, like, man, you got such amount of information going on. It's crazy to hear about. A lot of artists don't get into that like technical side so much about how they're like struggling inside the DAW and stuff. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, bro. Like, you shit be like, and like, and I know, and it's crazy because like, I can objectively look back and be like, nah, bro, like you got way better at this engineering.
Yeah, man. Shit. You got to give yourself credit sometimes, right? Like.
Yeah, and I tried to do that, but then like subjectively, I'm like, but bro, listen, like, and I think that's like that's when your comparison shit goes because like I never used reference tracks. I was just like when I first heard a reference track, I was like, what do you mean a reference track? I didn't. Then I like started to like I was like, oh, songs that are similar to the song you're making and trying to make the level similar.
Yeah.
And then I think I fucked up because my favorite artist of all time is Kanye West, and it's like his production is ridiculous. You know, Travis Scott's another person I listen to a lot, so it's like they have super production, right?
I mean, we're
So
talking top end of the industry type sounds, right? Like
yeah,
$15,000 mics and shit. Crazy.
yeah. So I'm sitting here stressing because I can't get Astroworld level quality with a $45 interface and a $100 mic, and I'm like, nah, bro, like I can do it, and I'm like, bro, you can't. And I try to, use all my plugins. I try to, boost, cut, sweep, do all that shit, and it's like, and like every step I do, which I think is where I fuck up at, I go back and doctor it a little bit more, and it sounds a little bit better, So it's like, I keep inching to a better sound, so I'm just like, all right, draft it again, and then it gets a little bit better. But it's like, okay, bro, you just made 22 drafts of a fucking song. Like,
You start getting into that file name extension thing where there's like a problem to name the end of the file, you know?
yeah, and it's like everybody that heard the song thought it was a good song. Songs that you released a year ago that sounded half as good as this one, people like that shit. So what are you tripping for?
It's crazy.
So,
right? Yeah, man.
but it's I think that's like earlier when I was talking about like having that integrity, like I know I could put this out right now, but I'm also like, but you know that you could do better. So it's like, where do you find that? Where do you find that crossing point where it's like, I could do better, but I think I tried on this shit and I'm gonna release it. So yeah, that's definitely my biggest shit right now, for sure.
Okay, on the flip side of that, then, what's the greatest thing that's ever happened to you so far as an artist?
I think the greatest thing ever happened to me as an artist was definitely getting that opportunity to be in the studio with the producer who helped me make my album because
Yo, it's crazy because you know Jay Fair, right? He's part of the network too there, right?
Yeah.
And he just texted me the other night and he's like, bro, I just got together with like one of my old producers that we used to chop it up in person together to make the songs or whatever, right? And he's like, we finally got to get together again after like so many years and do this shit again.
Yeah.
And it's what you're saying, right? It's being in the room with that other spirit, that other creative force, right? That allows you to do something special that you wouldn't have done in two separate rooms, right?
Yeah, bro. Because like that was like the moment of my life in my career. I was like looking at him because all I did was I wrote the lyrics and I was just doing the vocals, and then he was taking care of everything else. So literally, he's like, "No, you were out of tune. Do it again." And so then once we got a clean take, once we got that clean take that he was looking for, he's like, "Okay, you're good. I'm gonna get this sounding decent." He's like, "I'm not gonna do all the polishing right now, but we just want to get an idea of how the song's gonna sound when we finish it." And so I would just sit there and I'm just standing behind him, looking at him, just fuck around, and I'm like, "Bro, like." I'm like, why is he EQing like that? And it was just like, but like it sounded good, but I was just like, I'm like, why is he doing like that? And then like I would hear it, I was like, oh well, shit, that's why. And then he was like, because like, when you go on like YouTube and shit, like these people are they're geniuses at what they do. I don't doubt their quality of work, but you always on Instagram and everything, you have those people that are like, oh yeah, like every time you record a track, you got to have this plugin set to this and shit like that. And then you try that and you're like, and you hear their sample like on their YouTube and you're like, damn, that shit sounds clean. Maybe he knows what he's talking about. Maybe she knows what they're talking about. Then you put in that same frequency and everything. You're like,
totally different.
Nah, bro. I'm like, nah, my shit don't sound like that. Like, so then I came across somebody and they're like, yo, you always start your engineering or your vocal mixing with the tune. You always start with your auto tune and then work your way down. And I was like, okay, so I did that. And then like I was watching him and I was like, wait, why did he not put he didn't put the auto tune first? Why did he do that? But then the song came out and I was like, oh well shit. I guess you did need to. And like just I was just like, why would he do that to the delay? I'm like, all right, I don't and I was just saying it because like I knew this guy had like all these, but like when I sat down with him, I already went through all the YouTube tutorials, all the like this is how you should do shit. And I'm like, and he's sitting there telling me, he's like, yeah, this is how I'm gonna get your shit sounding good. And I'm like, you're like the 42nd person to tell me that. I gotta see it to believe it. And it was like, I was like, oh, you know what? Yeah, that actually sounds really good. Like, okay, I'm really fucking with this. And then
Yeah, and
I just
everybody
would
has their own
see,
process, right? Like you see it all
yeah,
across like the internet if you go looking for this kind of like learning material type stuff, right? And it's like
yeah,
you got to take it with a grain of salt because a lot of people are almost contradicting each other, but they're getting good results with their own ways, right?
yeah, yeah. So, um, just seeing that and just realizing like, oh, I didn't even know I could make the vocal chain in that order. So then after making the project with him, I was like thinking about reflecting all this shit, taking notes like, okay, all right, take that EQ, reduce it there, do this. Okay, all right. And then, because like I used to always keep my EQ separately. So I was like, okay, reduce everything and then do the additive after. And he's doing that shit on the same fucking EQ. I was like, hey,
Yeah,
bro,
man.
no.
You know what? We're just getting creative with that EQ, and like when you hear something that needs to be changed, change it. There's no
Yeah,
process to like the order of operations so much with it. You know what I mean?
yeah. So like shit like that, I would say is definitely my biggest moment. And it also gave me confidence because, you know, when before I was working with him, I did all the shit myself in terms of mixing engineering, and it was just like this shit. I was like, I'm doing what these people are saying. I'm not getting this sound. So I got to the point. I got to the point where I was like, you know what? The common denominator is you, bro. You just ain't got the sauce, cuz
Oh
you ain't
damn,
got.
man! No! Come on.
That's how I was thinking at that time. I was just like, yeah, bro, you just not meant for this. You just don't have it. And then after seeing that, I was like, oh no, I just don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, and having that eye-opening experience, like, holy shit, like,
There's a lot to
I,
it, right? Yeah.
yeah, I was like, I just had to learn a little bit more. So yeah, that's definitely my biggest accomplishment. And it kind of showed me because like I did everything in person with him. So he played like I went to his studio. He played beats in real time, and I would write down the ones. He'd be like, "This is called so and so." He'd play it, and I'd be like, "Okay, I like that one," and I'd be like, "Okay, I like those 4 beats." And he'd be like, "Okay, this is how much it costs to lease them and everything like that." And then I'd be like, "Okay, I'm gonna come to your studio at this time." So like, to me, it's like proof that I can like invest my time and money into something and actually stick with it. Because I mean, I didn't record that in like 3 days. It took me multiple sessions to get all the songs done. Um, but it definitely, the relationships I was able to build during the process, and when I was making my album, obviously, like I said, like my business and shit was going all the way south.
Yeah, so you're kind
And
of torn in your head of like trying to focus on one thing, but shit's blowing up over here, right? Like,
yeah, so then like it just helped me learn how to really compartmentalize on a whole new level, and it kind of let me know like who was beneficial in my life and who wasn't, and everything like that. And just helped me get over overthinking my ideas, because trying to be like I tried to be like the perfect vocalist. Like I'm like, yeah, I just have to nothing. I can't have any fluctuation on my voice at this point. Everything has to be right on cue. Everything has to be perfect. And then learning like he was like, hey, listen, you got a little loud here, but I'm gonna clip that and reduce the gain right there. I was like, wait, hold up. You could like there's so much shit that I could learn, and I was like, because I didn't know you could do that. I was like, I thought you had to keep your vocal the same level if you wanted to say it sound the same. And then I was like, fuck, taking shit 30, 40 fucking times. And with him, 3 or 4 takes, and he's like, okay, bro, don't worry. I'm just going to go in, clip that part out, reduce it to dB, and it's going to line up with everything else. And I'm like, fuck it. Fuck sorceries you talking about.
and
Then,
you learned something new right there, right? About the whole process of it.
yeah, so just being able to learn that much shit and everything at that moment, I would say is definitely. And then because I spent so much time and money on it and effort and everything like that, I was like, bro, fuck it, you have to release it. And I really was like, bro, fuck it, actually go out here, start making videos. Who cares? You don't need the fancy drones. You don't need just get your damn iPhone and just record the shit.
Make
upload
it
it.
happen. Make
Yeah,
something happen, right? That's the key to
yeah.
it.
You know, uh, and I think like as social media keeps getting more and more into people's personal lives and shit, and people being exposing more and more, I feel like sometimes people almost enjoy the basic videos more than the super fancy bells
A
and
lot of the
whistles. Oh,
times, right? Yeah, man.
and the last reason why that was my most proudest moment, or yeah, my best moment in my career, I would say, is because it gave me what's that word I'm looking for? It gave me clarity on the simple fact that my opinion is just fucking that. It's just an opinion. Because I released that album and the song that performed the best out of all the songs, I thought was the worst song on the I thought it was the worst track on the album. Like by far, I was
Crazy.
like, I only used it because I was like, well, I already paid to lease the beat. I wrote to it. I have a session with him, and like it was kind of like almost like a little bit of a rush song. Like I was like, okay, my session with him is coming up in 2 hours. I finished 2 of the 3 beats. I got this last one. I liked the beat, but I didn't like how I sounded on it when I was just like freestyling on it. I was like, I just don't like my voice over this beat right now. But fuck it, I'm going to write to it because I already booked the studio time. I already paid for this shit, so I'm just gonna go do it. And then yeah, like the whole time I was like, this shit sucks, bro. Like even like he had it sounding good, but in my head I'm like, this is straight garbage. Like
Because you got this
even
preconceived notion of like what you're feeling about it or whatever, right? And like you never
yeah,
know what's gonna hit with who. That's the thing about it, right?
yeah. So then I was just like, holy shit, like opinions are just that, like, because I really thought like certain songs were gonna be like, I was like, yeah, this song is gonna be fire, and some people liked it, but then other people were like, nah, bro, that song was cool, but this song, I was like, in my head, I'm like, you like that bullshit, but 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 I didn't say that. Like in my head, I'm thinking about like, oh, good looks, that's all love, bro. I appreciate you sharing how you feel about it, and if there's any pointers, I'll definitely love it. But in my head, I was like, that was straight. That was hot dog water, bro. I can't believe you like that shit.
Yeah, it's amazing to see what like the difference is when you put a song out and you like different people like different things, right? So it's like,
Yeah,
bro, I played an instrumental last night on my review, and it was like I've never had somebody even hit play on that before in their life, and then these people are freaking out about how good it was. I was like, what? It's just like my
yeah,
first one I've ever put out, and like nobody played it, so I thought it just sucked. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's all about finding that audience and figuring out who's gonna like what you're making for them, right? That's the key to it all, bro.
Facts, cuz facts, bro.
Okay, just before we go to your second song there, what was it? A unique approach that you take compared to other artists that might be like never heard of before.
Shit, I mean, there's so many artists out today, so I don't know if it's something unique that no one's ever
Like you
heard
feel
before.
like kind of
But
like an invention where like everything's been done already once, you know?
yeah, yeah. So for me, which is it's really, I mean, it's really invigorating when I actually pull it off. But sometimes I'll just put on a track. Like I'll go in. I'm just like, all right, I don't know. Okay, click on this instrumental, drag it in. I'm like, okay, get the BPM right, click play, and then I'll just hit record, and it's just playing, and then I'll just be like, okay, how would how would I say something on this that's actually kind of coherent? And then I might say a couple of words. Then I'll mumble for like 20, 30 seconds, bro. Like just not saying just gibberish. Then I'll click it and I'll listen back to it. I'm like, you know what? I really fucked with how that flowed. And then go back and then try to put words and syllables that line up with how the mumbling goes. Because for me, lyrics are important for sure. But the more and more I make music, I feel like for me, you have to catch that wave. If you don't catch like that, it's not gonna matter. Because there's some people with crazy lyrics, crazy bars, but they just rap so like almost haphazardly that if you're a fan of lyrics, you're like, holy shit, this guy is amazing. These people are amazing. This girl's great. But if you're just like driving in your car,
like a
going to
casual
work,
listener or whatever, right? Like
yeah,
that kind of person. Yeah.
you might be like, no, I hated that song, and then there'll be another song where they just say bitches and hoes 50 times, and they're like, yo, bro, that shit was a banger. I'm like, he said bitches and hoes 50 times in a minute and a half. And you're like, nah, bro, but that shit was fun. So then I was like, bro, maybe lyrics are not the most important thing. Maybe it's like the
Vibe you
presentation.
catch. Yeah.
But yeah. So then I started just mumbling in this, but I was like, you know what? I really like how that mumble came out. Okay, bet. Now we're gonna write words to it. And I'm like, okay. Then you get it, and I'm like, okay, I missed that mumble syllable. Let's go back. All right, I like that word, but I need to find a word that it means that same thing, but it has one more syllable, so it fits better. And then after that, like, because it gives me that feeling of like it was effortless because I mumbled to get to the sound I was looking for,
Yeah.
but I still had to put effort in because I had to consciously think about what words I was going to say and how I was going to say them to actually complete that project. Another thing I like to do is reverse. I try to reverse engineer a lot of my songs too because mixing and mastering it's fun. I like doing it, but parts of me also, for the reasons I already said, you start to get in your own head. I fucking hate it too. Like it's like. Like once you put that plug-in on and you're like, oh shit, yes, fuck yeah, bro, that's what I was talking about. That's when it's like, hell fucking yeah, bro, it's lit. But that whole like, no, that
In
compressor
between
wasn't
part.
it.
Yeah.
No, that compressor. Nah, that ratio stupid. Nah, next one. I hate that part of it. But once you get that, like, you hit that spot, you're like, oh yes, let's go. This is barbecue chicken now. Everybody's about to be eating. Like when I get to that part, it's cool. But that in between, so what I started doing to try to like give myself a little bit of a cheat was like, okay, if I want it to be like real, like if I'm thinking, okay, I kind of want this part to have like a megaphone distorted effect. When I go to record it, I think about how a distorted megaphone will sound on the end, and then try to record that vocal to
In
emulate
such a
that.
way. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that way, when I go to engineer it, I don't have to sit there and I'm like, okay, it already kind of sounds like what I want. Now I just got to clean up the frequencies, get the compression right, throw the saturation, the reverb on it. So sometimes I might be like, okay, this part of the song, I feel like this vocal effect would be really good here. So I need to approach the vocal and perform it in that way. So when I get to this part, it's a smoother transition.
Yeah, man. My guy actually does that. White Lie. He does like those demon voices sometimes in like a rap, and he'll like literally make the pitch of his voice go as low as he can. He like figured out how to do it so that when you tune it down, it still sounds natural again. You know, if you tune
Yeah,
something too far down, it kind of turns robotic or whatever. So like he's
yeah,
getting
yeah,
this like really natural sound out of like the demon vocal sound because he's kind of doing it already, you know? And you're only pitching it
yeah,
down like a few different semitones then, right? Not like 12 down, right?
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I try to do to make, um, my approach. Because I remember when I was recording my album with my homie who produced it. He was just like, because he was like, he's monitoring everything. He's like, yo, you're singing in like 5 different keys. I was just like, what? He's like, because he had like the little graph on that would tell you like where the heat map was. He's like, bro, he's like, you're singing like 5 different tunes, but it sounds decent though. And I was like, I didn't know that. And then he was like, so then he asked me, he's like, bro, like when you record by yourself, like what do you do? And again, me not knowing shit about engineering and auto tune and shit like that and keys, I used to record, like when I first started, I used to record everything in A minor, D minor, or C minor, every single song. Stupid
That's
as
crazy.
fuck. Like stupid as fuck. So when I would record, I was just like, because see, for some reason, I thought in my head that the scale that you recorded in was meant for how you thought you sounded. And then after a while, I was like, no, bro, that's the key of the song. So before I knew all the technical shit, I was just like, well, I like the way my voice sounds in A minor. So fuck it. I'm gonna record everything in A minor. So when shit sounded weird, I was like, okay, I just gotta change my delivery for that 2 syllables or whatever to the point where it would sound like kind of coherent. Now, obviously, if you were a pro and you were like, you'd have been like, the fuck is this guy doing? But the casual listeners were still like, hey, that doesn't sound bad. But then looking back on it after I learned shit, I was like, oh, actually, that was all kinds of fucked up. That shit was janky. But hey, but you know, I just made it work. So like,
No, that's sick.
so like yeah, so like, you know, that was kind of, you know, something I really learned in my process. You know, is just fucking, you know, rapping in certain keys and shit like that, just to make the engineering and shit like that easier. So hell yeah, I'm glad that there's other people doing it. Other things I might try to do is try to set up a punchline. I might say something. I might be like, damn, that's a bar right there. But I need to lead up to it. I can't start with that. I can't start with those words. That has to be somewhere maybe like 3 or 4 lines in. So I gotta get to that. So how would I get to that? I want this right here at bar 4, but I need to get 3 bars or 3.5 bars or 3 3/4 bars, whatever, to make that shit work. So then you're kind of like, okay, what references and shit could I use to make that shit work? I don't do that often because sometimes it starts to feel like I'm trying to fit, you know, a triangle in a trapezoid. So it sometimes it doesn't work, but when it does work, I'm like, hell yeah, I just did that. Yeah, baby. I put the him in Himalayas, bro. so yeah, that's you know, some of the shit I would do in terms of my my approach to, you know, making music.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. Well, yo, we're gonna hear your second song, I think. It's called Paper Plane.
Oh hell yeah, that was.
Tell the people
my
about it
wife's
before we air it. Yeah.
Yeah. So shit, yeah, Paper Planes was dope. Actually, objectively speaking, I would say, well, objectively, subjectively speaking, to me, my wife loves that song. But it's you know, it's
shout
really
out to your wife.
yeah, it's a really upbeat kind of. I would say it's more upbeat. It's not really like that last song was really dark. This one was like the production, the beat, everything was really like upbeat, really bright. And he called it Paper Planes, and I was like, damn, I like the beat. And at that time, I was smoking crazy weed, so I was like, paper planes, joints, paper planes, as people say. So I just made a smoking song. So it's pretty much just a smoking song, and it's just, you know, me just talking about getting high. Like,
Well, yo, let's hear about it. Let's roll it.
Wow, I'm loving this THC cloud. It's really been calming me down. Sativa, then indica, sativa, everything come with a pow. That hit it, then better sit down. Everything packed, we've been double stuffing. Let's double the puffin' right now. This paper plane got my eyes hella low. I'm way too high, have to be left alone. My altitude look down on satellites. I'm too gone, can't be reached by telephone. Pounds all around. Pounds all around. Clouds all around. Clouds all around. Paper plane, steady diet up. Paper plane, got me high as fuck. Paper plane, always get the dub. Paper plane, always number 1. Spark it up and make the city up. We go to City Hall and spark committee up. Just keep it rolling till we bunch of litty fucks. Don't need to break the bank, it's only $50 to get 150,000, 50 plus. The way I roll it smooth, I got a crispy touch. And at this rate, I probably smoke like 60 tons. I'm a committed stoner, love the marijuana, baby. Pounds all around. Pounds clouds. Anywhere that I go, my eyes look double summoned up. That's why I walk with eyes low. Yup, really gassed up on runs. Twisted, I know I'm stuck off the Dutch that I stuffed. I cannot get up. This paper plane got my eyes hella low, hella low. I'm way too high, have to be left alone, left alone. My altitude look down on satellites, satellites. I'm too gone, can't be reached by telephone, telephone.
So,
Yo,
yeah,
what's up,
it's crazy.
everybody? Yo, that's so funny what we were just talking about behind the scenes. Right at 422, bro. That's funny as fuck. Yo,
Legendary, bro.
the song you just heard was called Paper Plane. It was a smoking song, and it aired at 420 today. What else could be better
Legendary.
for that? You know? Yes, bro. But you know what? Yeah, smoke that flower, but don't overindulge. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do
Yeah.
it,
Yeah, man.
crazy, right? Okay, so we're gonna get into some audience connection questions now, bro. What are you hoping people take away from it? How do you make your art relatable to them? Like all this stuff.
So for me, I try to make my songs relatable because, like I said, I'm a regular human being. I don't rap about going to Turks and Caicos or having crazy because I'm not. I don't do that. So I just make songs about shit that I do. If I'm like, hey, I want to rap about. I want to make a song about bars, but I want to just use a bunch of anime references. That's what I'm going to do. And anybody who watches anime is going to be like, damn, he's really rapping. And he's talking about all the classic ass anime shows. So I just make songs about regular life.
Smoking weed.
I tried,
you know?
yeah. I try to, what I try to do when I'm making songs is one of my approaches is just making mundane everyday shit sound like the swaggiest fucking thing in the world. You know what
Nice.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm getting ready for work, or like, hey, I'm running my little small business, everything like that. Just trying to make that shit be like, hell yeah, bro, I run a business too. Fuck yeah, I got an LLC, pop it's fire.
That's a flex, bro. For a lot of people, that's a flex,
Yeah. Just keeping the regular people topics, the forefront. I know everybody has things that make them mad. I think we can all agree that unless you're like absolutely like, unless you're like Jeffrey Dahmer on steroids, you probably don't like war and shit like that. So, if I'm just like, yeah, fuck these governments starting all these wars and shit, I'm like, I think most people would probably agree, like, yeah, we don't need to be doing shit like that. We should just be chilling and trying to show love and make the whole world a better place for everybody. And just staying down to earth. Like when people hit me up, whether they have more followers than me, I have more followers than them. I'm further along in my music, they're not as further along, or maybe they do something else. Just making sure, like, hey, like, we're all regular people, like, we're all human beings. So, if somebody reaches out to me, I try to make sure I reach back out to them. I try to make sure, if you're going to sit here and show me love, retweet or repost or whatever, DM me, hey, your music does whatever. Even if you do something that I may not find to be my favorite thing to do, just still checking you out and being like seeing what you're doing and just being like, yeah, this is dope. You're out here trying. So I'm gonna repost your shit or give you reassuring comments, stuff like that. Um, Everything like that. Because like for me, I think one of the biggest things, and I think which is kind of how I got here on some shit, and on this conversation with you was like, um, just like people would show me love or whatever, and let's say like I would try to keep a log of all that shit. So it's like, all right, I made 25 posts in a month, let's just say, and now I see that somebody decided to um, like 22 of my 25 posts. I'm like, damn, bro, like this person's really like showing love for real. Like they actually, fucking looking out. So then at that point, I would, try to make sure that I would send those people like personalized like DMs. Like I would send a video like, yo, bro, listen, like I appreciate you showing me love. I see that you've been reposting my content, shit like that. That's huge for me. Love.
And it's making that connection, right? It's like that
Yeah.
human to human thing that like goes beyond the music at that point, right?
Yeah, yeah. Cause what do you call it? Like that's because like yeah, Jay Fur. I was
Yo, shout out Jay Fair, man.
Yeah,
He's a good guy.
like, yeah, he was posting a lot of my shit. So I was just like, fuck yeah, I gotta, So like so then like once that happens, I try to deliberately go out of my way and make sure that just I have like a log of people where I'm like, hey, this person does X, Y, and Z. They've been commenting, doing whatever. Because like even the people who talk shit, bro, it's beautiful. Because like it's like
sounds so ironic.
It's like because this is how I look at it, bro. Like, all right, like to me, this is like right now, me and you having this conversation. I'm like, bro, this is like this is. I'm gonna be forever grateful for this, regardless if we don't ever talk again or this turns into some crazy networking opportunity, whatever it turns into. I look at it like the fact that you were like, hey, we're gonna get on this podcast and we're gonna talk. Like, we're having a conversation. We're getting to know each other. We're chopping it up, and you can make more money. You can grow more grass. You can do all that shit. But I'm like, you can't get more time, right? Like, so
Right.
if somebody's gonna go out of their way, even to like, yo, this guy is an absolute cornball. He's trash. I'm gonna go on all his fucking YouTube shorts and laugh at him and flame him and call him ugly, whatever. I'll be like, you know what? I'm so blessed that a human being took something that they could not get back and decided to give it to me. They're like, hey, yo, I have very little bit of time on earth, and I'm gonna take some of that time to focus on you and talk shit. Amazing. Like that's
Yeah.
I can't that's amazing. I'm like, wow, I must be doing something right. Even if you hate it, the fact that you felt the need to go out of your way, you could have been having sex with your spouse, you could have been at the club, you could have been working on your business, you could have been doing so many other things. And you were like, nope, the Westside, I gotta go talk to him. I gotta go talk shit. And I'm just like, wow, I can't believe I'm that important in your life. And you know what? I'm forever thankful, grateful for that. If you do it again, that's beautiful. If you only do it once, that's also beautiful. So,
You know what they
Yeah.
say, right? Even bad publicity is publicity, right? It's an attention
Yeah,
economy,
real
bro.
yeah. So for me, all of it, bro. And so just trying to stay in contact with people, on all the socials that I go on. When somebody, like I try to
Being
respond to
reciprocal, right? Yeah, like giving that back when they give it, you give it back, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, yeah, because because like I really that shit's kind of ass. I don't know. I don't know if you've ever been on the end of that. Like, you might know somebody or know a few people, and you're like, I really like what they're doing, whether it's music, clothes, business, education, financial education, whatever. And you're just like, you might message them, and you're like, hey, I really appreciate everything you've been sharing, and just keep going. It's helped me out. And then you'll see that they read it, and you're like, you couldn't even double tap the message. I couldn't even get a double tap, bro.
Yeah, it's true, man. It does happen regularly.
Yeah, so I'm just like, so then once I started to get, attention and people start to show me love and everything, I was just like, bro, like, make sure, like, you get back to those people, because, that's what it's all about, especially, like, when you're, like, an independent artist or you're an independent, like, when you, like when you don't have those giant machines like
Pushing
pushing you,
for
bro.
you,
Like all
right? Essentially,
only
right?
thing you yeah, the only thing you have are the people that fuck with you for real. Like like I don't have Atlantic Records being like, hey, we're gonna get the West Side's music in all the Adidas commercials. Like no, like so if 10 people message me and say, yo, bro, that single you released was fire, I'm gonna be like, hey, you know what? I got to make sure that I get back to you and tell you like I appreciate that and keep going doing what you got to do. So yeah,
That's
just making
amazing,
sure my
man. Honestly,
just making yourself available. If somebody is willing to give you their time, watching your podcast, listening to your music, promoting your clothing line, doing whatever, I feel like you should be able to give them a little bit of your time, and even just to say thank you. Just like, hey, I appreciate you shouting me out, or I appreciate you doing, me a favor and just telling me how I've been able to impact your life. So, yeah, definitely want to stay connected with the fans at all times.
bro, I want to say thank you for coming on here and saying what you just said right there. You know what I mean? Because then all the
Hell yeah,
people
bro.
watching, thanks for anybody that's here watching today, even people that, because we get a lot of people that go and watch it after the fact because they're busy on like a Sunday afternoon or whatever, right? But thanks for
Yeah,
coming and watching it, even if you're seeing it at some other time, because like this is what it's all about, bro. Creating that community, that connection with people, right? And actually getting people's stories out there so that they can know you on a different level than just hearing your music. That's what it's all
hell
about to
yeah.
me. Hell yeah. So speaking
Hell
of
yeah.
which, like, what are you working on next, bro?
Shit, so I actually have like 12 songs that I've been really fucking with. Looking
Is it
to
gonna be like
release
an
that.
album coming up, or
No, I think I'm just gonna I think I'm just gonna carpet bomb the internet with singles. That's what I'm gonna do.
yes. I like the
Yeah,
term. Just like, yeah, we're gonna fire one at a time, and it's just gonna land. Like,
yeah, yeah. I think that's gonna be the plan. I don't know if I really have I don't really necessarily have an order for them. Like I might just just pick one. I don't know. Might do them in alphabetical order, reverse alphabetical order, shortest
oh
song to
damn,
the longest
alphabetical.
song. I don't know. I have no clue on how they're going to get released, but yeah. And some of them are like re-recorded songs because I recorded and released a lot of songs on Audio Mac. That's like
I've
a
heard, I'm
baby.
actually on Audio Mac, but I've never had like a follower or like I think I got one play on there ever or something. It's got its own ecosystem going on, right?
Yeah. So I when I first started, they were letting you release mad songs for free. So I was just uploading everything there, um, and I had a lot of decent quality songs on there, but the engineering, like I said, was just very bad. So I just was like, well, all right, that's cool. But now I've been going back and like trying to re-record some of those, actually polish them up, make sure I register them, get everything, and
Nice.
the contracts and everything like that put away. So when I do decide to go on DistroKid and all that stuff, then it's all good to go. Because I mean, if I do that shit, I can have like 100 songs on DSPs by the end of the week. But I'm not gonna do that. That's crazy.
Damn.
Like, because I mean, a lot of them were just rapping and rhyming words for the sake of rhyming words. So I wouldn't redo all of them. But yeah, so I have a few of those. Um, I was on a cover kick for a little bit, just going to classic instrumentals and just putting my own words onto them. So
That's
I think I'm gonna
interesting. Yeah.
so yeah, I think I'm gonna do probably something like a mix of that, where it's like I'll use a cover, clip that up as like a hype for a single that I'm gonna release. Uh, kind of just do that because covers. I like covers. Covers are really nice because you just because covers to me that's where you're rapping in my opinion. Like songs, I'm trying to make a song. Like hey, we want the
Create from
whole
scratch
yeah,
those times, right?
yeah. It's like you want to have like an actual idea, coherent, everything like that. Like when I make a cover, I might be like, hey, we're talking about hoodies on the first bar, and by the third bar, we're talking about smoking weed. And you're like, how do we get here? It's like it don't matter. It's bars. Like
I
that's all you need to know. Like
love it.
so, yeah. I like to have that mix because sometimes just throwing out bars and just
Sometimes you just gotta do some stupid shit too. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and just try to impress yourself. Like, hey, wow, I just can't believe I said that. Like, fuck, okay, and then you might try to just build on that, and it may or may not work. But just having that free freedom to just create the bars without having to worry
experiment,
about like,
right?
yeah, it's like I don't have to worry like, oh man, like every single bar wasn't about political unrest. Every single bar wasn't about how I'm in love with my wife. Every single bar wasn't about smoking weed or whatever the topic of the song is. So that's what makes like the covers really, really convenient and really awesome. And I think that's because that's where it keeps like the lyrical side, the bars and everything, keeps those sharp because
Nice.
making those melodic songs are super easy. You don't even really need to say. You can take what 8 bars, say them again, hook, another 8 bars, repeat that twice, hook, leave, or just hook 16 easy, and then throw the hook back on there. Minute and a half gone, song done. Um, so just making sure you do those, but also challenge yourself. So yeah, I got about 12 singles that I think I'm gonna release here.
Nice.
And it's
That's a
finally,
handful, man.
yeah,
Honestly, that's a good number.
and I think I'm finally it's finally cooled off out here because I didn't. Oh, my phone is black, so I didn't realize because like I knew Arizona was hot, but I didn't realize they didn't have. I didn't realize that there like when before I moved out here. I visited before I moved here, but I didn't realize that there was a lot of days where there's no clouds. So a lot of times I would try to record a video in the summer, and my phone would just be like, "Bro, it's too hot."
Like
I'm like, "Fuck."
overheating?
Yeah,
Yo, I never
because
even thought of that. I've had the
yeah,
other option, like the other problem of like phone freezing and the battery dying and shit because it's so cold.
yeah, yeah, and I usually record by myself, so I used to hate driving someplace, but like, okay, I like this setting. I'd put my shit up, put the selfie stick up, and start recording, and then I'd be like, fuck, it didn't record anything because the shit is saying it's too hot. But I'm like, bro, it's
Man,
121. It's 121 degrees, bro. Like, like you know,
what do you
it can
do, right?
only
Like, damn,
yeah.
wrap it
So
in an ice pack, you know?
yeah, so I was really not a fan. I was kind of like, what the fuck? But now it's getting cooler, so I think I'm gonna have a lot of time. A lot of there's tons of places to go out here to record, get some cool visuals. So yeah,
Okay.
I think now it's gonna be a great time to actually get some of those done. So that's gonna be super awesome to get done. So yeah, that's what I pretty much got going on right now, music wise anyway.
Nice. Well, yo, just before we go today, let's tell everybody how they can find you. That's the most important thing now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I saw that you have like fan base app. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, bro. I was just fucking around with
You
that.
got a
So
ton of stuff on there too, right? Like tons and tons of those image posts or whatever, right?
yeah, so I think how I understood it was fan base is pretty much like like an Instagram type. That's how I understood it. It was like
Okay.
so
Like almost like
you
its own
could
social network or something, right?
yeah, it's its own social media, but it has a little bit of a twist to it. So you know how on like how to explain this? I don't want this to sound too crazy because like we're talking about music here. So but what I'm about to say this, I don't want it to be like this. What is this freak boy talking about? No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just using that as an example. So fan base, how I understood it when I was looking at the platform, it's like a mix of like Instagram and like OnlyFans. Hear me out.
Okay.
Wait, hear me out. I don't mean it like that. It's like you can go on there and
Like
you can like see
fucking share a nipple or something.
so it's like Instagram, but if somebody's like, oh, I really like your music, or they really are a fan of whatever you're producing, they can actually like donate to your creations, right? So that's kind of what
That's
it was
cool.
like.
That's actually fucking cool.
Yeah, so I saw an ad for it, and I was like, well, fuck it, why not? I mean, the worst that can happen is I create it and nobody pays me, which that's cool. I don't feed myself with music. I do other things for that. So yeah, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, so
I
we got
haven't
that
really
link
pushed.
below here, and then we have, I think, your link tree with all of where your music's available and everything right now.
Yeah, yeah, everywhere. With DistroKid, it's really simple. They make it pretty easy. You just upload it there. They upload that shit everywhere. Pandora,
Yeah,
Deezer,
just go
Apple Music,
out to the
Amazon
world.
Music. Yeah, it's everywhere. So wherever you get your tunes, you can find the dude. I think I used to
Type
say
in
that in some
DA
of my videos.
Westside wherever you are, eh? That's it.
Hell yeah. And then
And
yeah,
is like your main base like Instagram where you do most of your like interactions and stuff then?
yeah. I would say that's where I do most of my stuff because yeah, that was the
Yeah,
first
I see you
platform I.
on there all the time, bro.
Yeah. Just gotta. I mean, that's the only way to. I mean, as an independent artist, like we were talking about, you gotta stay visible. Um,
Yeah. It's an entire business just in itself, just the social media part of it, right?
yeah, and you gotta make sure you're getting back to all of your people that are trying to do business. Anyway, you gotta get back to all those people. So yeah, just trying to stay up with all that shit. But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of the main one I use because when I first started making music, that one had the most, I would say, traction. I had the most followers and shit. I
It
thought
has the
about
right
using
vibe
Twitter.
for music, you know what I mean? Because I'm on a lot of
Yeah,
networks. Like TikTok's very like moment based watching, if you
yeah.
want to call it that, right? X.com is more like you're talking to people back and forth and stuff, but it's not like, I don't know, they don't push music posts like Instagram does. You know what I mean? Where it became visual
Wait, hold up.
first.
You cut out there. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Oh shit. I think we just lost him. Well, yeah, it was at the end of the interview anyway, so let's see if he comes back. See what happens. There he is. Well, you're back. No, don't worry. It came back. It's all good. But yeah, we're pretty much done here, anyways, bro. It's been a fucking wild interview. You said so many good things that people can take with them and like apply to their own artistry, or even as a fan, like realize about artists, right?
Fuck yeah, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we're regular people, and I think a lot of times because we have that persona as an artist. We have our personas we're acting on. Over instrumentals and shit like that. We sometimes I think we get lost in that, right? Like
Yeah.
people like the West Side, but they don't know who Derek Askew is. So it's like I always got to be the West Side, and it's like, well, no, you don't, bro, because like the West Side doesn't exist without Derek Askew. So like
It's true.
just when you're sharing shit, just be real, like bro, like I have problems, like because when you listen to music, you feeling yourself, you got your swag on, so you're just like yeah, I'm him, I'm her, I'm killing shit, like so. I think sometimes people fall in love with those personas, and I think that subliminally they start to think that's who you actually are.
Right.
Because like there's always things where like we see these famous people and then they get caught up in some shit and like, oh my god, I can't believe he did that. And it's like, why are you surprised that they made a mistake? Like
Yeah, it's like they're
you have
human, right? Like they're going to
yeah,
fuck up once in a while. It's just how life
yeah.
is, right?
It's like they're like, oh my god, I can't believe he hit his wife. And I'm like, he shouldn't have hit his wife. That was fucked up. But you got three uncles that beat your aunts every day. But
Yeah, it's
you
wild.
know but you know your uncle personally and you know who he is. You don't know who that rapper or that singer is or that creator. So you put their creative persona on this like as like that's who they are, and it's like nah, that's just a small clip of a glimpse of what they are. Because like I don't know, I just one day I was high as shit a couple years ago and I kind of put it in perspective. I was like, yo, if somebody live streamed their life 6 hours a day, you would still only know 25% of what they're doing.
Right? Yeah, it's
You're still,
literally only a quarter. They could do whatever else off the screen, right?
yeah. So if you are like, oh, I watch this person's content an hour a week, I'm like, there's 168 hours in a week.
Yeah,
So you're getting 1 hour of you don't know. That's a lot of time you don't see. So
right.
yeah, so just trying to always be that realistic human being.
And came on here
And
and shared your entire story so people can actually see who you are behind the scenes and not just that like persona of BA Westside, right? Like,
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, man. That's what it's all about. This whole community. I was just talking to the guy last night on my interview about that. How it's like this entire new thing, because like back in the day the music industry was very like separate from humanity, right? Where it was like
Yeah,
they'll show you what they want you to see and you absorb whatever they showed you, right? And it didn't have
yeah,
live streams like this where we can just get together and talk live like this. People can watch you speak however you speak on a regular day, you know what I mean? Like you never got to see that from like the M&Ms right away and stuff like that back in the day, right? There's
nah, not
always
at
this
all.
separation between the industry and the man, right? So I think
Yeah,
there's been this huge shift now where like we get to see all this stuff. It's amazing, bro.
yeah, it's wonderful, it's beautiful, and shit like that. But I did want to, because I you gave me the script and everything that you want to kind of cover here. So
Yeah.
I did want to share this one thing. You kind of asked me what is one piece of advice you could give to anybody who's just
Oh
starting
yeah,
out.
yo, that's an extra one, man.
Yeah, yeah. So I really wanted to get to this one because like it really helped me out a lot. So I'm imagining it's gonna help somebody else out. So
Share with us. Let's know.
anybody who's doing whatever, I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be music. You could be trying to go for a career, build your own business, become a doctor. I don't know. But specifically, it's for artists. But it could probably apply to anywhere. When you're creating, just I try to just always tell myself this: remember to make that what you want or like what you want to hear. Make sure you do that. And the reason why I say that is, you don't really need to copy or be a clone of anybody. Like that really, it doesn't even make sense. Like, why would I want to sound like Travis Scott? Travis Scott has been Travis Scott his whole fucking
And you'll never be a better Travis Scott than Travis Scott. You know what I
life.
mean?
Yeah. So it's like, no, don't even try to even like go that route. Just be who you are because you can be the best you, and at best be an F plus of somebody else. So it's like don't even go that route. Um, I would say no matter how weird or crazy you think your ideas are, like just remember that like I don't know how you look at it, like, but this is how I look at it. Like you have your favorite restaurant, you have your favorite song, you have your favorite app, you have your favorite movie or anything like that. And because I got struck, and I was like, bro, people are gonna like this. And I thought about it. I was like, bro, I have a favorite restaurant, and when I go into that restaurant, other people are there. When
Right?
I go
Not
to,
just you alone.
so I'm sitting here. So then I sat there and I was like, well, bro, you like the music you make, and you like pizza. Other people like pizza, bro. So
What a
some people,
realization, eh?
it's like I'm like, so stuff that you like, other people like. So you like the music you make, other people. There are going to
I'm
be
gonna
some
like
people
it.
that are going to like it. So
You know what?
just
Some people
go,
hate pizza too. It's just how
yeah,
life goes,
and
right?
and if that's the case, just don't try to sell them pizza. They don't
Yeah.
want it. And so don't stress out about those people. Just
You know, I
just
think
find
it's
your
like the best part is like I think I saw Rick Rubin post it one time. Everybody knows Rick Rubin in the music
yeah,
industry, right? He said it's like you're supposed to make the music for yourself, not for the people, in such a way that when you do that for yourself, you're making that like ethereal connection with the music that you're creating, and that's what's going to portray across and affect somebody else when they hear it. Is that genuine connection between what you're doing and what you're making, right?
yeah. So yeah, that's just how I look at it. I'm like, yo, everything I do, like I drive a Nissan Altima. I'm not the only person driving a Nissan Altima. Them shits is all over
Yeah,
the
I
world.
guess, right? Yeah, man.
So I'm like, well, I like a Nissan Altima. Other people are driving them. People are buying them off the lot. So
Must be okay,
shit,
right?
I must like shit that other people like. I like this song, so somebody else has to like this song. And
Hell yeah.
don't get I would also say don't get caught up in like that fucking like, oh, this person has a billion streams or they have a billion monthly listeners or whatever the fuck. Because like let's just use that number, a billion. There's 8 point something billion people. Let's just use 8 to keep it simple. If you had a billion fans, there are still 7 billion people that don't give a fuck about you.
I love it. Yeah. You're like, you only got
So
10% of the market, bro. What are you doing? Right?
like so even if you were like, oh damn, like this person has who cares? Like, if you get 10 fans, that's fire. If you got 100 fans, that's better. But who cares? Just embrace
Care
your
about each
fans.
one as they come. That's it.
Yeah,
Right?
just be, appreciative that the higher power blessed you with a skill, with a work ethic, with a craft that people want to rock with you with,
Oh
and
yeah.
don't get mad. Don't be mad. Oh, I got 10 people to like me, but he got 500. I'm mad. I'm like, because that happens. Like people will be like, oh, like I feel like I should have more listeners or some shit like that. I'm like, you have 2,000 monthly listeners, and you're mad that
Because you
2,000
don't have
people.
a million or whatever, right? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So I'm sitting here. I was like, and then I posed the question. I was like, wait, so you're mad that 2,000 people fuck with your craft? You're mad that 2,000 people like you. He's like, oh well, no. I was like, so then why you sound real mad right now though? He's like, well, like I just think I should have more. I was like, of course, we're creators. We
Everybody
all we,
wants more, right? Yeah.
we always
Obvious.
think we should be doing better than we are, but at the end of the day, like we have to we have to like understand that like there are people that are gonna wish they were at where you were. There's people
Mm-hmm.
that want to put their shit out, whatever it may be, but they're fucking afraid, and they're looking at you like, wow, she did something and pressed send. Wow, that's fucking crazy. I can't even do that.
Right. Yeah, everybody's
so
at a different level, right?
so yeah, just appreciate
You know the
whatever
best way
love
to put it for like perspective is I've heard before. It's like imagine you only have 200 people, right? That have heard your song or
Yeah,
whatever. Imagine them all in a room together watching you do it.
that's a
You know
lot
what I
of
mean?
people.
Dude, can you imagine seeing 200 people off the stage? Like that's a
Yeah,
massive
that's
crowd for a lot of people, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it only looks
So,
like 200 compared to a million streams or whatever, but like put them in a room, your perspective will change immediately. The energy that will come off of those 200 people would be phenomenal.
yeah, yeah, man. That's just trying. I just try to keep that shit in perspective. So, you know, just whoever's out there, if you're like, hey, I want to try something I think is wonky, there's some
Try
wonky
it.
motherfuckers out here. My wife always flames me because I have terrible fashion sense. Like, I'll wear an orange, I'll wear an orange hoodie with pink shorts and go to the store, and she's like, I can't believe you left the house like that. But then we'll walk around, and then we'll see somebody with like a tie-dye shirt and then like polka dot shorts, and I'm like, see, I'm not the only one, babe. I'm not the only one.
He
You
thinks
see,
he's cool too. You know what I mean? Like,
so even if you're like, damn, this is some weird shit, I think, who cares? There's gonna be weirdos who like it too, and
yeah, man.
just
Everybody's got
and,
their own weird.
yeah. So you might as well. I mean, if you're an artist and you're a guitar player or whatever, if you're a rapper or whatever, just know that you talk to yourself over some sounds and record it.
Yeah.
So, like when you think about that, that's weird as fuck, but we like it. So, so you might as well just fucking do it.
You're standing alone in a room speaking to a piece of metal when it comes down to it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's what it is. So
yeah, bro.
if it's weird, fuck it, let it be weird, and the weirdos will
Just
come
put it
out
out. Yeah, put it
and
out.
show
Let it come
support.
out. Hell yeah. I love
So
it.
yeah, bro, that's everything I had. I mean, I don't know if there's any other questions you had or any other things you wanted to add on. Shit, I'm having a great time. It was a great blessing for me. I don't know how you feel about it, but yeah,
Oh man, I love every single interview that I've ever had so far, and I think I'll always continue to love it. Just to see
fuck
different
yeah,
perspectives from so many different artists like this. Thanks for coming
fuck yeah.
on today, bro. Honestly.
Oh hell yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for
man.
having me, and thanks for actually being professional. Because part of me was like, because like we scheduled this shit like so long ago. I was sitting here,
Oh yeah.
now in my head, I was like, now I remember setting that up, but I was like, I'm sure he does a lot of these. I was like, I wonder if he's gonna forget that we had this. Then you're like, yo, our shit's coming up. I was like, oh shit, he actually remembered.
Yeah,
Okay,
man, we keep a schedule of the whole thing. I've got it already booked into 2026. I've got like 4 people signed up.
that's
And we're going to make
fucking
sure that
beautiful.
they happen on those exact days that I said to them that we're going to do it. So,
Hell yeah, bro. That right there sets you apart from like 95% of these people out here. because there are so many people that will offer you services and everything, and then when it's time to do whatever, they disappear. I'm like, I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I I said I was interested. I was down for whatever you were offering, but now you're like, nope. I'm like, okay, well, shit. Guess guess that's not happening.
No, we're super serious about getting the word out with this whole platform that we've created here because I mean, we've been able to change lives since we started. You know what I mean? It's
Fuck
affecting
yeah,
people's numbers and things now. They get back to me and let me know what happens after and stuff, right? So it's like I care that
fuck yeah,
everybody's songs one day will get 1 million views off of their put up episode just for airing the music breaks like that. You know what I mean? Once we pop
yeah,
off, you all pop off too. It's just how it's gonna
yeah,
be. Too
bro.
bad for everybody else. If they don't want to come on here and do it, we're just gonna win. That's how it is.
Yeah, hell yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
And that's so beautiful. 'Cause that's to me that's the part of networking that I think people forget. People build the net, but they forget to work. Like it's like, yeah, I could have all these connections, but it's like I believe whoever, like, okay, so like I got connected with you through Jay first. So I'm sitting here like, okay, I got to prepare for this because Jay Fur went out of his way to say, yo, I know this guy, and I'm gonna have him reach out to you and shit like that. So now I'm like, all right, because Jay Fur decided to make that offer to me and say, hey, I know somebody that I think you could be beneficial to connect with. I'm like, okay, to make sure Jay Fur doesn't look like a complete dingus, I got to make sure I'm on my shit. So when I get on here, you don't look at Jay Fur like, who? What
Why
the
you
fuck
send me
was that?
that?
like, what were you looking at? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's the part, and that's where I just like try to be the best version of myself that I could be for everybody. Because
Hell yeah.
it's cool. It's cool if people like my music or they're like, yo, your content is dope. But if somebody's like, hey man, I'm glad I met you because meeting you led to this, and even if it's just me telling you a sentence, and you're like, wow, that shit really changed my life, and I
Yes,
want to
sir.
go on to do a whole bunch of shit. I'm like, fuck yeah, bro. I don't I don't even want anything. I'm just the satisfaction of knowing that I was able to help you is worth more than the fucking money. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, now
100%,
if you're
man.
so because like yeah, you can print money all fucking day, but if somebody's like, yo, bro, I met you and I love your energy,
You like changed my
and
life, you know?
yeah, and and you said this, and I went back and I had this conversation with my man's, and now we doing this and this, and it changed everything. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's what
You
human
want to
beings are
put
here
him up
for.
on a stage and share that for him at that point. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I'd be like, tell
yeah,
everybody about that thing that changed, you know?
yeah. So that's always huge. So when you build in that net of people, make sure you're working it, but not for you, because that's where a lot of people fuck up at, in my opinion. They get a
It's
bunch of
got to be
connections, and
selfless too. Yeah. It's got to
and
be
they're just
for the
like
other.
and they're just trying to leverage everybody's audience. They're trying. I'm like, well, what are you trying to do for them? Like, this doesn't
It
make
gets back
sense.
to that reciprocal thing, that reciprocal community thing that we talked about before, right? Same
Yeah,
idea right there.
yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
Like that shit is huge, and that's where I think a lot of the people, especially like in the independent space, I think those are the ones who are winning, the ones that are going out of their way to put shit out, and show people, hey, man, this is where I fucked up at it. This is how you can get better. If you're gonna create this like godly persona where it's like, oh, I've never fucked up. My
Yeah,
shit,
right.
my shit doesn't even smell. I've never sneezed in my entire life. Like, okay, bro, I guess you're just fucking perfect, but
Yeah.
we're not. So if you're gonna act like that, if your ego is that fucking big that you gotta be fucking perfect, well then you're probably already fucking weird, and I probably don't like you
Yeah.
because you're already trying to act fucking weird from the jump and acting like, yeah. So for me, yeah, dude, like it was cool. Like I liked everything here. It was cool that the connection was dropped because like a lot of people I might have been like, fuck, like, oh, the whole show is ruined. You were just like, yo, bro, I don't know what the fuck happened, but shit, we're here. Let's keep
We're
it going.
back, yo.
And that shit was awesome. I was like, fuck yeah, like just
Shit
because
happens. It's just how life
yeah,
is. You know what I mean?
yeah, and this is what's beautiful about just being live, right? Like,
Yeah, man.
there's
And it shows the reality of it, right? Like,
yeah,
sometimes networks go offline and you gotta just come back like it didn't even happen and keep going, bro.
yeah, bro. So yeah, I think this was great experience. This was a beautiful moment. I had a great time. Hopefully, whoever's watching this got some type of value from it,
Tons of value. Yeah.
even if the value is the fact that you still got your hair and I'm bald. Shit, be like, hell yeah, I still got my hair. Like, whatever you got from it, hopefully you got some shit out of it. Like,
Yeah, heck yeah, man. So
fuck
thank you
yeah.
so
So
much for coming on today, honestly. I love when every person that shows up and does their thing and in a slightly different way each time. And it shows like the real you of who you are behind the art, right? And that's what
yeah,
people are gonna connect to. So thanks for coming on today, bro. And we're gonna sign off. Everybody else that's watching or is gonna watch, have a great rest of your afternoon, and we're gonna play it out. Cheers.
hell yeah. Stay blessed, level up, and keep fucking grinding. Let's go.
Boom.